Yo, sup? So if you're watching the replay, obviously, as per, I'm just giving people a little minute to jump on because, again, as usual, I didn't let anyone know, really. I just kind of went, I'll be going live in a minute, jump on. So if you are here, then let me know, say hello in the comments. And we're going to talk a little bit about the full moon that's just happened in Aquarius. Look, I'm not a fucking astrology expert, okay? We all know this about me. I am somebody who just kind of feels what's happening in the collective, and then I jump on and I share when I feel aligned to, okay? We know this. Good morning, Gabriella. Good morning. So we're going to do some EFT tapping for paranoia, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why. And you can let me know, like, let's have a bit of back and forth, like tell me what resonates. And yeah, so for me personally, I am an earth sign. I'm a Taurus, but I also have Leo, moon and rising, so I've got earth and a lot of fire. So with Aquarius is an air sign, and this really is like back to basics astrology, right? This is not like deep shit and how it triggers the gates in your human design or anything like that. It's literally just like basic bitch. This is actually, this is the most basic fucking stuff. But for me, very often, the most basic, foundational, simple things are the things that we forget, and we want to overcomplicate everything. And then when we just remember, like, oh, fuck, of course, like, I'm an earth sign. So when there's a lot of air in the air, then how does that impact earth? So for me, the way that impacted me was I felt very ungrounded. I felt like a lot of head stuff, a lot of like, ooh, what the fuck? Like lots of very kind of what I used to call when I was younger, foolish and unhelpful thoughts. Just like really feeling like the thoughts were just in charge, and all I could do was kind of like, you know, when you're like deep in a feeling, you can't really you can't make yourself not feel that thing anymore. You've just got to kind of be with the feeling and like let it be and move, and then trust that the feeling is not who you are, it's just what you're feeling. And also, perfect timing, I'm having a good hair day. So I thought, why not? It's so rare. It's so rare when my hair is kind of growing out that it actually is like, woo, nice hair. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going on. So you had a similar thing, yes. Hey, Leslie, I was just talking about my hair and how fabulous it's looking. You're just in time, baby. Hey, Chev. Oh, good. Yeah, I feel so much better now that the moon has passed, and I actually felt really good going into it like last night because I went and I got a one-to-one with my coach at my Muay Thai gym. So I managed to like go and punch and kick things real fucking hard and get a lot of like rah out of my system and laugh a lot with my trainer. So it felt really good because I got to move a lot of energy last night, and it was like perfectly timed. So yeah, for me as an earth sign, I felt like, yeah, there was a lot of overthinking, a lot of really being in my head, a lot of rumination and paranoia. So that's why we're going to talk about paranoia today. And I feel like paranoia is one of these emotions. It's like, I know we're not meant to have favorites and least favorites. However, paranoia is like, I think I can safely say paranoia is my least favorite emotion to experience. And, you know, like anxiety isn't great, but I kind of know I've had enough anxiety in my life to know when it's happening. I understand it. I kind of get what it is. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. It feels like shit at the time, but I know that I know what it is. When paranoia happens for me, when I'm experiencing paranoia and a lot of like overthinking, just circling back to, so I have this fixed earth, but I also have my moon and rising are fire because they're Leo. That's probably why my hair's looking so great today. And air and fire, what happens when you give Like, you know, when you fan the flames of a fucking fire, it gets even hotter. And in 5 elements, fire is about, you know, like, it's consciousness. It's the I am. It's know thyself. It is like being up in your thoughts, out of the body in a way. If it's not grounded, when it's out of balance, when it's imbalanced fire, when it's got too much air, when it's got too much fuel, it can get a little bit like woo, ungrounded. So I've had that combination happening for the last couple of days. And it's been very interesting to witness myself in those emotions. And do say hi if you're jumping on and if you're joining us for the tapping. I like to know who's there. Don't just be a voyeur. Play with me. And yes, I am in a bikini top because it's fucking hot as balls here. So I don't want to melt in front of your very eyes. So for me, paranoia is something that is very much linked to my teenage years, I would say. Lots of experience of just feeling like, I mean, looking back, I now understand that part of that is like psychic gifts coming in. Part of that is intuition developing. Part of that is growing up and just really using like my open upper centers to feel into the temperature of the room and what everyone else was experiencing, so that I could feel safe and know what to do. And, you know, like little starseed kind of floating around having this human experience, like, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god, it's like this information's coming in and I'm like trying to filter it and understand how to be human. That's kind of how it feels. And so a lot of the information that I was receiving, I didn't really know what to do with. I didn't really understand. And in order to make sense of myself, I would often compare myself to what I saw around me. So growing up as a me, you know, even looking like this with this big curly hair and, you know, just always kind of having this feeling that people were watching, like not like people are watching Paranoia, but as in like I always kind of felt that people would look to me. I don't know. Tell me if you resonate with this. Are you somebody, maybe it's like being a 6'2" in human design, I don't know, but people always seem to like, they either wanted to like pick on me and bully me and just like squash me down and kind of, you know, make me feel a bit like shit really, or people wanted to like, were kind of like wanted what I had. They were like covetous of what I had. But I didn't really, when I was like, apart from my family, I didn't really, like at school and stuff, I didn't really grow up having an experience where I ever felt like I fitted in anywhere. And when I did, it was so fleeting that I would have a lot of scarcity around it, because I would feel like I would have these moments of feeling like I fitted in and trusting that and being like, oh, this is what it's meant to feel like to be human. This is what it feels like to fit in. Oh, I'm safe now. I'm safe in the tribe. And then this kind of like something would happen, and there was this girl who used to really like go in on bullying me at school, and she would basically get all of the people to like gang up on me to the point where I now know that my mum and like my dad, even, who's like very stoic, very old school dad, you know, like I know now that even he was like saying to my mum, we have to talk to the teachers about this because it's not right what's happening. Like even my dad saw it, you know. As a little kid living it, I just thought like, oh, this is what happens to me. This is my destiny, right? Like I'm just always meant to be the outlier. I'm just always meant to be the one that people are going to pick on. So I learned very early to keep myself as small and just like wide-eyed as possible. Anyone resonating with this? Like, let me know. Talk to me. And as I've gotten older, I realized that I'm quite shiny and sparkly, and sometimes that is really confronting for people, to have someone who's shiny, sparkly, confident, gregarious, playful, flirty. You know, it can be something that feels very confronting. It does resonate perfect. And even as, you know, a fully grown woman, I still feel that sometimes. And so what I began to experience in my teenage years was a real culmination of all of that stuff. Yes. That's it. That's exactly it, Leslie. And then we can we can either like shrink ourselves so that it's like, don't look at me. Or we can almost like guard ourselves with like our boldness and our strength to be like, fine, come at me, bitch. You know, like it can go many different ways. I wouldn't label these things as paranoia necessarily, Georgie. This is just kind of like the backdrop. But yeah. So for me, like, again, emotional labels, I kind of use them because they're in the common vernacular, but also I'm like, it's just a vibration in the body at the end of the day, isn't it? But for me, like those feelings of like all of that culminated into my teen years, into what I would commonly think, or what I personally would think of as paranoia, which is like, everyone's talking about me. Everyone's out to get me. So like all of those experiences in childhood kind of culminated for me in a very like in paranoia and depression and self-loathing and a lot of really dark emotions in my teenage years. And I had some very, very dark depressions when I was a teenager. But by far the most at least with depression, I don't say this lightly. I'm not saying like I have any paranoia whatsoever. Now I'm wondering if I actually do feel it. Well, stick around, Georgie, because we're going to tap that shit out anyway. But I'm also going to explain like what paranoia is in terms of 5 elements. So welcome to my masterclass on the water element and paranoia. You are welcome. When I go live and realise this could have been a fucking paid masterclass, but I love doing free shit, so let's go. I wanted to admit it and go to allowed to go back to that place and rediscover it. Yeah, for sure, Bernadette. And I think it's really also about, I talked about this in one of my membership in the portal. I talked about this idea that you can't ever really go back. You can't ever go back. Like, you're a different person now. So when we're doing like, trauma release work, it's, it's still stored in your body. So it will just be there, but it will be showing up in different ways. Maybe if you don't want to look at it directly, it'll kind of be like playing in the shadows, just like a little puppet master pulling on your strings like, So the way that this then culminated for me in my teenage years, everyone's talking about me, everyone was out to get me because I never fitted in. So I didn't really, even when I did fit in, that feeling felt very dangerous. Like at first it felt like, ooh, this is safe, this feels good, like, oh, I'm part of the tribe. And then I'd kind of get attacked and be like, oh, fuck, okay, no, actually I don't fit in. And there was a lot of conflicting information about, internally happening for me again, so that I could learn all of this cool shit and become the me that you see before you today. Da-da-da. But then what happened was all of those thoughts would start to come in. And I don't say this lightly, because trust me, when I say I've experienced depression, I have experienced some fucking dark shit, man. But we're not going to go into that. I just want to kind of preface this, because what I'm about to say might be confronting for some people. But for me, speaking from personal experience, I'm not speaking about your experience. And if this causes triggers for you, then you are welcome. But for me, depression was fucking dark and it was scary. And paranoia, I feel, is, I would say, the worst, or at least on a par with something like depression for me, even though it's a different vibration in the body. And the reason I say this is because paranoia feels so fucking real. With depression, obviously, like, I have had suicidal thoughts in the past, and I've spoken about that in my book. And, like, it was part of the reason why when my friend committed suicide all those years ago, it was like this catalyst for me to go, oh, fuck, I've been trying to fix everybody because I don't want to look at myself. And his death was a catalyst for my own self-development. And I found all these amazing modalities and people to guide me. And that's why I do what I do today, in essence, is because it like changed the trajectory of my life in a fucking incredible way. But it was dark. Like, things got fucking dark for a while. And sometimes they still do get dark. Like, I'm human as fuck. As much as I'm a little thread of consciousness floating around. You know, we all are. We've all got such human experiences that we're having. And I feel like paranoia is something that is very tricky because it's in the water element, okay? It's a water disturbance in terms of 5 elements. So something that the water element, when it's out of balance, something the water element kind of gets a bit, I need this, is reassurance. So let's think about this. You're feeling like the world is out to get you. You're feeling like everyone's talking about you, that like, you know, everything is like being in a witch hunt, right? It's like ancestral witch wound shit. And again, the water element, the kidneys, is where we store ancestral chi, so, and like ancestral energy. So it's not unusual for us to be holding a lot of ancestral shit, okay? So bear in mind that depending on how connected or not you are to all of this spiritual stuff, you are holding ancestral energy and imprints in the water element, in the kidneys, in your body. So when you think about all of that, it's no surprise that sometimes we get a little bit fucking scared that people are out to get us, you know, particularly if you're in a female body, if you identify as female or not. If you have a female body and other people might identify you as a woman, you probably have some fucking shit around witch wound. Just gonna put that out there. Just saying. Told you we were going all in today. But this idea of like, you know, there is like a lot of witch hunt energy around these days, like cancel culture, you know, like it's all very like, who can we blame? Who can we burn at the fucking stake and not take responsibility for our own shit? Like, who can we burn? You know? And so I feel like there's just so much paranoia and so much water disturbance around that then when you add to that a full moon and all of the other stuff that's going on, it's like, whoa, fucking hell, slow the fuck down, baby. So when you think about paranoia, it's almost like when we're feeling paranoid, what we think we need is someone outside of us to say, no one's talking about you. Nothing bad is happening. No one's out to get you. Everything's fine. Like, you're fine. Nothing, like, all this stuff is just made up. It's just in your head. But because we have this water imbalance, it's like we can't actually receive the reassurance. And in a way, again, in the water, trust, right? You want reassurance, you receive it, but because you're paranoid, you don't actually receive it as truth, and it makes you feel even less trusting, which impacts your feeling of safety, which exacerbates the whole fucking situation. Does anybody recognize this? And it doesn't have to be massive. Okay, it doesn't have to be like, oh, sitting at home shaking and rocking and like, it can literally just be like those moments where you're like, oh, maybe I'll just not say anything because I'm not sure that I'm safe here. Or, right? Is anyone resonating with this? Definitely felt paranoid even today. Great. Well, not great because it feels like shit, but I think I do it to myself before someone else can. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Love it, love it, love it. Can a Cancer moon exacerbate or calm that right now? It's up to you really, isn't it? I'm not sure. Again, like, I don't really know a massive amount about astrology. I just kind of know what I know through my own embodied experience. If I tap into that, feels almost like if you're willing to plunge into the depths of that water. That's interesting, Gabriella. It's like if you plunge into the depths of that water, into the depths of like the cool, calming darkness and solitude of that water, you would actually find peace. It's almost like what I see is you like sinking to the bottom of the ocean, just like almost like cross-legged, and then like landing on the bottom of the ocean and finally being able to breathe. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Definitely staying so great. Yeah, for real, the self-censoring is annoying, but I find myself tempted to do that in some situations. Yeah, for sure. Okay, great. So we're going to do some tapping on this. And really because, again, I think it's just one of those emotions that's so stigmatized because people associate it with like really deep mental illness. And again, I don't think that should be stigmatized either. However, even if you don't identify somebody with mental health issues, really, we all experience all emotions in different quantities, you know. So some people might experience paranoia just in a moment, just from receiving a look from somebody. They might make it mean something that it doesn't mean, and then they're kind of like in that, oh, what does that mean about me? I'm like, I don't know. People like to get me to say, I'm like, oh, they looked at me like that, maybe I should change how, you know, that kind of, that reactiveness, that reaction that we might have to even just a look from somebody. It all lives inside of us. And so it's really just about, how can I use this? How can I use this vibration? Kind of like when we talk about our out of alignment themes in human design. How can I use this feeling that I don't like, that is uncomfortable, I'm not really, it feels a bit, how can I use this to just redirect me towards what I do want? So for me, when I started to feel this paranoia, I was very aware that there was nothing that anyone could say or anyone could do to make me feel better. The only person who I really sought reassurance from was myself, to know that we can never control the thoughts or the perceptions of another person. Because holy fucking balls, we can't even control our own fucking thoughts and emotions half the time. So how the fuck do we expect everyone else to be able to do it? That's not fair, is it? To expect everybody else to control all of their thoughts all of the time and all of their emotions all of the time so that we can feel safe. That's not fucking cool either. That's outsourcing your power hugely. So the water element is also the home of personal power, by the way. So there you go. Learning all the things today. School with Georgina. Homeschooling. So knowing then that all of these emotions are completely valid, how can I use this paranoia, this ungroundedness, this overthinking? How can I use this to my advantage to understand myself better? Well, I can use it to ground myself more into who I know I am. I can use it to look at, where am I maybe overgiving? Where am I kind of giving other people reassurance where in fact I really need some right now, and I need a me is often what I will say. It's like, I wish I had a me. And it's like, oh, I do have a me because I am me. Like, duh. So it's really about self-reassurance. It's about safety in your own body and in your own circumstances. It's about knowing that whatever happens to you, you are strong enough and capable enough to fucking handle it. You are strong enough and capable enough to handle yourself. And even when you've been through incredibly dark times in your life before, you survived those and you're here. And maybe you are like bumped, bruised, and fucking battered from some of it. And like maybe your heart is bruised from some of it. But I just want to remind you that it's actually okay to need reassurance sometimes. And it's also okay to seek that from somebody. You know, if you're mentoring with somebody, or you have a partner in your life, or you have friends that you seek reassurance from. But you must be open to receive the reassurance. If you are seeking reassurance to just feed the feeling of, oh, I'm receiving this reassurance and I still don't feel better, so I must be broken. Like, that's kind of fucked up. So maybe look at that if you're doing that. But if you're like, oh, I feel like I just need some reassurance to like kickstart that feeling in my body. I have people, you know, I have very good friends that I'll literally reach out to and be like, hey guys, feeling a little bit ungrounded. Can you just tell me I'm a badass? Like, can you just fucking remind me I'm a badass? And they'll do the same with me. So it's just that beautiful ability to be able to seek reassurance, but actually be open to receiving it, rather than just constantly looking for someone else to make you feel better, but never really allowing it to land. And then so that you can actually move on. If you're just constantly seeking reassurance externally, then that's something to look at as well, right? So let's get stuck in. Who's sticking around for the tapping? We'll probably do 2 or 3 rounds. Oh, hey, Justin. Thanks. Who's sticking around for tapping? We're just going to do, like 2 or 3 rounds all the way through. If you're not familiar with my tapping, these are the points that I use. I use the side of the hand, the crown of the head, these inner eyebrow points, outer eyebrow, under the eye. Don't worry, you don't have to remember this because I'm going to tap with you. Under the nose, under the bottom lip there. Oh, energy's already moving. Underneath the collarbones, underneath the arm where your bra would be if you're wearing one. And then sometimes I use the wrist points, and sometimes I use the fingertips like this. There we go. I seek time to be me. I love that. Yay tapping. Yay tapping! Says Chev. Here for it. Gabriella, fantastic. Excellent, excellent. So before we tap, I have two things to tell you. One is that we start Cosmic Wealth on the 23rd of August. So if you want to come and play, the link is in my bio. I'm constantly sharing about it on my stories. It's going to be fucking amazing. Feel free to DM me any questions. The second thing that I have to tell you is I keep getting this feeling that I'm going to do some like fucking batshit crazy offers on some like one-to-one stuff. Like crazy fucking pricing around my one-to-one offers. So if you don't already have me very much on your notification grid, like on your notification radar, and you've wanted to work with me one-to-one and wanted to know what that is like I'm getting so hot, even though like my palms are like getting clammy because some of the shit that's been coming through, I'm like, really? Okay, let's fucking go. Because I just want to inject so much more playfulness into my business, and this feels really fun. So over the next 3 or 4 days, maybe even the next week, just keep your eyes peeled on my stories, because these will very much be offers that are like, I want to do this now. So they'll go out, and then when they're full, when I feel there's enough people in them, I'm just going to go, okay, cool. That's it. So some offerings might just have like 1 spot, some might have 5, some might have 20, some might have 3. Like, I don't even know. I'm just literally going to give myself free reign to put whatever the fuck I want out over the next few days, just so that you can come and get some Noli juice and so that we can play. As you can see, my little sacral's very excited because I'm dancing. So let's do some tapping. Everyone take a nice big breath. If you feel to, you can close your eyes for a moment. Just really drop into your belly. Notice if you're like bracing. We tend to hold our bellies in like social convention. I must hold my belly in. Or what if you didn't? What if you just went and like let it out? Let it all go. Like, Okay, let's start tapping. So, just tap along and repeat after me. Even though sometimes I can't control my thoughts. They feel very ungrounded and I feel like I'm going to fly off the planet. And sometimes I feel if people knew what really goes on in my head, they would think I am fucking crazy. But that's okay, and I accept myself anyway. Even though in the real world, I kind of got my shit together. People seem to think I'm wise or someone to look to for information and advice. People seem to love talking to me. And I really love that they feel that way. Because I feel good when people open up to me. I love that people can trust me in that way. But sometimes I do feel like I keep myself appearing stronger. Not asking for help or support or really admitting how I feel sometimes. Because I'm afraid that if I'm not the strong one, then who am I? If people don't feel like I'm solid, they won't come to me anymore. And then who will I be? But it's fucking exhausting, and I'm over it, and I accept myself anyway. Even though I am a thinky overthinker. Sometimes it gets so bad, I feel like the whole fucking world is out to get me. Sometimes I hide the scarier, weirder, more fucked up parts of myself. Because I'm afraid I would get locked up if people knew some of the thoughts I have. But my paranoia, my overthinking, my rumination, it's just thoughts that I'm thinking. And when they start to feel a bit poisonous in my body, I know that I am powerful enough to let them go. And then I don't need to make them mean anything about me as a human. And I accept myself anyway. Sorry, my washing machine is beeping if you can hear it. It's like, your sheets are clean. Because again, human as fuck. I'm doing laundry, okay? What do you think I do all day? I know, I did a chore. I did housework. Don't tell anyone. All these thoughts. All those paranoid thoughts. Making me second guess myself. Making me overthink and then overthink more. Craving reassurance. Craving someone to listen to me. Craving a safe space where I can spew all of this toxic bullshit and not be judged. Craving people I can trust. Craving that feeling of being loved enough that whoever I am, whatever I think and whatever I say, there will be no judgment. That the other person or people won't change their perception of me if I share these things with them. Because I don't share these things in order for someone else to feel they have to fix me. Because I'm not fucking broken in the first place. Sometimes life as a sensitive person is just really fucking overwhelming and a lot. And I know that I am a powerful motherfucker. I am so fucking powerful. I'm so intensely powerful and I've been praised for it a lot. So to admit, allow and show the more vulnerable sides, the places where I second guess or doubt myself, the places where I worry what other people think or if I'll get burned at the fucking stake for my opinion. Second guessing how I'm received by others. What if I just didn't have to do that anymore? What if when I felt hurt, I just showed that I was hurt rather than pretending? What if when I have all of these thoughts swimming around my head, I allow myself to take time away from others to sift through them? What if I allow my body and my mind to become the safest place on the planet for me? Not numbing out by scrolling the internet or watching Netflix. That's not the same thing. I can still do those things if they feel good. But ultimately, those things just fill my brain, my mind, my third eye with even more fucking things to worry about. And I must remember that when I consume other people's content in whatever form, I'm also receiving their energy. So I give myself full permission to pay attention to how I feel around people. How I feel after consuming someone's content, even this video. And I always allow my body to tell me what is right and when. My mind is a valuable tool, but my body is the filter. And I'm now going to be more mindful and more intentional about how much stuff I force through the filter. Because when the filter gets clogged, it gets harder to filter shit. And if it doesn't have anywhere to go, it just keeps swimming around in my fucking head. Making me feel like a crazy motherfucker. I'm safe in my body. I'm safe here. I'm safe. It's safe to feel safe. It's safe for me to breathe fully into the safeness of my own body. I'm open to receiving reassurance from myself, from others, and from unexpected sources like a feather when I'm out walking. When I shift my focus to receiving what I desire, I will amplify that vibration and see, experience, and receive those things everywhere. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And drop me a comment. Let me know how you feel. So I'm getting close because I can't see the number. Oh, there it is. Because the number is up here of how many people are watching, and it's a dark number. I can't see it against the dark background, so I had to lean in just in case I was just talking to myself, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Full of tears, thank you. You're so welcome. In a world where we are nurtured and brought up through a series of systems and hierarchical structures, to seek reassurance and safety from within is an act of rebellion. And I am fucking here for it. Hi, Yolanda. Didn't know you were here. Hello, hello. Very good. Thank you for pointing out. Oh, have an amazing day, Leslie. I feel like you're going to manifest some cool shit today. Look up on the wrong side of the bed. This is the cosmic reset. Yay! Hey, Ange. Precisely calibrated to what was needed. Quiet release, off for a wild swim. Yes, I love that. I love that. Relaxed. Perfect. I love that you're going for a swim, Gabriella. Go. Be free. Like a wild salmon frolicking in the river. probably not very correct. But in my mind now, you are a salmon. I feel great. Just what I needed. Thank you. You're so welcome. Ah, yes. Perfect. Anyone who can get into the water today, go for it. Bathe yourself. Realign that water element. Is there anything else I feel to share? Ooh, I'm going to pop this video up on my grid and hopefully Instagram will leave it there. It tends to do this thing where it says, oh, this is a copyright infringement. And I'm like, it's really not. Like, I literally channeled it from source itself. So can we please not play this game? And then it will like take it off my grid and I have to dispute it and blah. Okay, so when I post it on my grid, if you have enjoyed this, I would love for you to share it on your stories and tag me. It's just really helpful to me, and obviously it's helpful to other people. So I put a lot of beautiful free content out in the world, and if you feel to have an energetic exchange, sharing this on your stories would be a fucking beautiful way to do that. And I am always so incredibly grateful for everyone who shares any of my content. It really does mean the world to me. So thank you so much if you do share, and if you want to join us in Cosmic Wealth, please go ahead and click the link in my bio. I'm releasing an extended payment plan next week as well. So if you are feeling the vibes for that, drop me a message and I will send you the link as soon as it's up next week. And keep your eyes on my stories for the next few days, because y'all know some fucking crazy one-to-one offers are coming up, and I'm very excited to just be in the playful zinginess of that sacral vibe. Thank you so much for being here. Mwah! I love you. Bye.